everybody, please, a big round of applause for Mr. Sam Morril. Let's go!
Thank you for coming out. All right. I haven't told any jokes yet. Don't get too excited. Come on. Gotta be reasonable. I was trying to bring a girl back from a bar the other night, and she was like, I'd invite you over, but my place is kind of messy. And I was like, yeah, that's not really a deterrent at 3:30 in the morning. Like, I'm gonna walk into her apartment and be like, absolutely not. I mean, maybe if you fold these sheets we could talk, but without a duvet cover, I do not feel comfortable. Of course your place is a mess. If you're willing to have sex with me, I'm gonna assume your whole fucking life is in shambles, all right? I was talking to a girl for 2 hours, and I tried to kiss her. She pulled away. She was like, I have a boyfriend. And I said, oh, okay. And then she said, and even if I didn't have a boyfriend, I wouldn't really be interested in you. I was like, yeah, lady, I got it. Don't have to reject me and then reject me again. Message received. Pretty sure that's not how they do it in auditions. Like, yeah, you weren't right for the part. And even if you were, you're fucking disgusting. So, you should commit suicide right now. I was trying to bring a girl back from the bar recently. She asked if I was going to kill her. It's not a good feeling. Clearly, I'm not projecting what I'm trying to project on a first date. She's like, you're not going to kill me, are you? I was like, no. She's like, all right, let's go back to your place. That's your screening process for killers? That's why I'm going to slip up? The honor code, that's why I'm going to lose them? How bad a killer do you think I am? I was talking to a hot older woman at the bar, and she kept saying, I could be your mother. I was like, I'm pretty sure you're not. My mom doesn't get hammered at dive bars on Mondays. Also, she's never made out with me. I think we're safe. Then we got back to my apartment. She was like, you need to clean your room. I was like, holy shit. Mom? One time I was having sex with a girl. While we're having sex, she was like, I want you to fuck me like you're never gonna see me again. And I was like, I was. I had a breakup with a girl, and I know that's pretty hard to believe because I seem so charming, but my ex-girlfriend I dated, she was a hoarder. I dated a hoarder, and she broke up with me. That stings extra hard. I'm like the one thing she can get rid of. It hurts. She was always mad, you know? We broke up, she was mad and cried. She's like, you're not crying during this breakup, but you cried during that Magic Johnson documentary? That should show you how out of touch with reality she is, that she thinks she's in the same inspiration category as the greatest point guard that ever lived. That guy played in the All-Star game with HIV. She would not fuck me when she had a headache, so... It just shows a lack of awareness on her part. And honestly, I worry. I do. Magic's a legend. Every endorsement, Converse, 7-Up, he never got Trojan, but I think he deserved to get it. No, so if you were on the fence about wearing protection and you saw Magic Johnson's face in the box, you'd be like, we should definitely wear a condom. There's a commercial. You're coming out of a blackout. You wake up next to a very regrettable one-night stand. You see a little picture of Magic's face in the box. You're like, oh, Magic, thanks for the assist. Yeah. It's AIDS, but it's fun AIDS. That's why it works, guys. I'm a big basketball fan. I was bummed they fired Greg Anthony, the college basketball analyst. He solicited a prostitute, which you shouldn't do that, but I don't think you should lose your job. It's not like you're in a good place when you're paying for affection. But I don't think anyone's ever been on the back pages at 4 a.m. like everything is going according to plan. No, your life's going bad. I order food at 4 a.m. I'm like, this is a terrible decision. So I feel like ordering a human. That's like next level regret. I love food, but the risk people take for sex, you would never take for food, right? Even if every restaurant was closed and you were starving, you would never order a meal off Craigslist. Even if a prostitute showed up with food, I'd be like, oh, fuck you, I'm not touching that lasagna, though. I don't trust it. I want to see a health inspector's grade in that lasagna. Food helps everything. You can't be racist when you're eating good food. That's why I hate that terrorist group, Al-Shabaab. They sound fucking delicious. You can't be pure evil and yummy sounding. That's unacceptable. That's like if there was an Italian extremist group named the Marinara Boys. Al-Shabaab. That sounds like somebody I'd order drunk. Okay, let me get some of that Al-Shabaab. With like a side of Hamas. I hate the terrorists, guys. I hate them. I do. It's a pretty ballsy statement to make in Manhattan. Terrorists. I hate the terrorists. Some of you were looking at my eyebrows like, how much do you really hate the terrorists? I do. I hate them. I have a terrorist look, but I have like a very pale look, so it's I look more like the ghost of a terrorist. I look like one of the guys that came back to warn them, don't do it, you don't really get the virgins. Did you see that last week? They found the applications for Al-Qaeda. Did you see that? That's kind of weird. You have to apply to get in. There's some dude on the phone. He's like, dude, did you get in? He's got, I got fucking waitlisted. ISIS is my safety. I don't want to go ISIS. Terrorists and comedians, we have a lot in common. We both get bummed out when not enough people make it out to a gig. Right? I got to imagine they'd be like 3 people on a bus. I guess I'll do it, but honestly... I just thought Allah would be better than this. Right. Food helps everything. You can't be racist when you're eating good food. Jews, we have bagels. I go to Pick a Bagel all the time. Yeah, great spot, right? It's a great name, too. Not every place lets you pick. I can't tell you how often I walk into a bagel where they just throw a bagel down. They're like, pumpernickel, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, I wanted sesame. They're like, what do you think this is, Pick a Bagel? It says designate a bagel, Jew boy. Jew boy? Such anti-Semitism. Black people have soul food. Arabs have the halal, which is magical. You can't be racist when you're eating chicken over rice. You can be racist when you're digesting it, but not when you're eating it. It's too good. I'm eating that. I'm like, maybe 9/11 was an inside job. It's so good. That's why gays need their own cuisine. It'd be harder to be homophobic if you're like, dude, do you want to order in some gay? You'd be like, I don't know, that stuff tears my ass apart. The white sauce is good, though. I'll give you that. But otherwise, I know, guys. I was talking to a guy who told me gay sex isn't natural because it's not sex for the purpose of reproduction. And I was like, no sex I've ever had was for the purpose of reproduction. That sounds like sex that's gone horribly, horribly wrong. He was like, it's against nature. I said, I have fucked couch cushions, so... I'm in no position to judge anyone on what they do with their penis. He's like, yeah, but God did not intend a man and another man. I was like, I'm pretty sure the guy who manufactured my couch did not anticipate me having sex with it. There's a God, I hope it's a gay dude. I really do. I do. Just for how awkward it would be for those really homophobic people if they had to meet him. What if they got up to heaven and God is just like, I'm gonna fuck all of you? They're like, I thought this was heaven. He's like, yeah, for me. For you guys, it sucks. We all have a little gay in us. I don't know if you know this. Every straight guy, when we pee urinal to urinal, we look at the other one's dick. I hope that's true. Okay. I could be wrong, but if I'm wrong, I don't want to be right. I saw a bulldog on the street with a leather vest, and my roommate was like, look at that gay fucking dog. Like it's the dog's choice to dress like that. You think his owner was like, it's time for your walk, and the dog's like, hold on. Let me get my assless chaps. That's how homophobic he is. I was in this video online. I was like, hey, do you see that video I was in? He's like, I think I saw that video on faggots.com. Why were you on faggots.com? You ever keep an inside joke going? It's not even funny, but your friend is laughing, so you're like, I'm going to keep doing this. My friend Dan helped me move, and I texted him afterwards, I owe you a beer, but I accidentally put a J at the end, so I just texted him, I owe you a beach. It's not that funny, I enjoyed it. Yeah? And he wrote back, you owe me too, and we had a good laugh, and it was nice. It's not that funny, but we're not hurting anybody, and we enjoyed it. That's how we say hello now. It's not, hey, do you want to hang out and play basketball? It's, hey, do you want to suck my penis? My ex-girlfriend did not see the humor in this joke at all. I texted her by accident. I was like, do you want to suck my penis? She was like, excuse me. I was like, I meant to send that to someone else. My friend Dan. Who, now that we're on the subject, treats me better than you ever did, okay? So in the elevator the other day, this dad got on the elevator with 3 crying kids. They're all crying. And he just turned to me and he goes, ugh, wear a condom. Okay, that's good advice from me. You should probably get your kids to stop crying. He's not going to be very useful at the parent-teacher conference. Like, your son's been misbehaving. He's like, yeah, we meant to pull out. So that's kind of out of our hands now. I never wore a condom with my ex because she was on the pill, Ambien, and I know. That's a sleeping pill for the back. I don't want anyone to miss out. It's a great joke. I ran into my biological father on the street, and I told my friend, and he was like, is your biological father a good person? And I said, if he were, I probably would not refer to him as my biological father. Most people just say dad, I think. I look exactly like him. I show my friend a picture. He was like, wow, it's like you guys were separated at birth. We were. I liked the cool dad growing up. Like, my friend's dad would smoke weed with us, and I was like, this guy is cool, you know? Now that I'm older, it turns out he is not cool. Turns out he's a grown man that did drugs with children, so kind of the opposite. First time I met my biological father, he took me out to lunch, and the place he took me turned out to be a family-style restaurant, which I think is kind of ironic. They should make broken family-style restaurants. You just walk in like, where's the waiter? I think this dude abandoned us or something. I don't know. They forget to come out and sing happy birthday. They're like, dude, we totally spaced. We'll make it up to you next year, all right? And another guy comes out, he's like, I don't work here, I'm just kind of fucking the owner, but I'll be your step waiter this evening. And I saw a dad in the coffee shop quizzing his son on dinosaurs. Every 30 seconds he would hold up a picture of a dinosaur. And his son would be like, that's a stegosaurus. And the dad would say, good job, Stephen, well done. Why are we quizzing kids on dinosaurs? I've never needed that knowledge ever. It's never come in handy. It's never gotten me out of a jam. Never been driving drunk, some cop pulls me over, he's like, what kind of dinosaur is this, dude? I'm like, a stegosaurus? He's like, step out of the vehicle. We should be quizzing kids on things they're gonna need in life. This should be the quiz. He just holds up a photo of the same woman, but slightly different pictures. He's like, all right, Stephen, what's different? And the kid's like, her haircut? He's like, very good. It's gonna come in handy. Another photo of a woman, he's like, is she angry? And the kid's like, she's gonna say she's not, but I think she really is. And the dad's like, dude, you're fucking good at this. That's crazy. You're better than me. That's why I only get to see you on weekends. But, you know. It's tough. It's tough for kids. We tell kids they can be whatever they want, but we don't give them the odds. That would be helpful. If I have a kid, I'm going to be honest. If he's like, Daddy, can I play in the NBA? I'm going to be like, look, statistically, it is possible. But let's take a look at this chart, okay? I've taken the liberty of factoring in your size and race, and it doesn't look good. You're a tiny Jew, so it's not doing you any favors in the National Basketball Association. We tell kids STD stats. We don't tell them career stats. Why not combine the two? If a kid's like, can I be president? Be like, you got a way better shot at gonorrhea, unfortunately. I've informed you of two things. I just read that it's considered child labor if a kid throws over 85 pitches in a Little League game. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, 85, it's a fucking game. I bet the kids that stitch their uniforms overseas are like, I would happily throw 86 pitches. I haven't been outside in 72 weeks, so that would be a nice little upgrade. A lot of sexual terms named after baseball, right? First base, second base, if there's grass in the field, play ball. I came up with a new one. I call it rain delay. That's when she's crying. Doesn't look good for tonight. Maybe tomorrow you get a doubleheader. That's how I look at it, right? Women are amazing, though. You are. You are. You can carry a baby inside you for 9 months, and then it just comes out. Yet you rarely ever see a female magician. Think about that for a second. That's kind of weird. I think after all that time, when the baby does come out, a woman should get to say ta-da. You've earned it. Never seen a female magician. You know, I've never seen a female mass shooter. It's always a dude. Women, they'll like murder their boyfriend or their husband, but they will not kill a stranger. I think men and women kill the way they love. Men are like, I will kill anything. Women are like, I gotta get to know you first. That Jodi Arias was crazy. She's not getting the death penalty, but she was nuts. Stabbed her boyfriend 30 times, slit his throat, and then shot him in the head, because you can never be too sure, you know? You gotta take precautionary measures. Because he tried to break up with her. And women are always like, why did you be a man and break up with me to my face? That's why. I'd like to still have a face after this. I'm gonna stick to texting. The Boston Bomber kid's going down, though. He says he's getting the death penalty. Yeah. I had family in Boston. Yeah, I was furious when that happened. You know, I was devastated. You know what my first thought was? Me and my brother, we don't do anything together anymore. See, that's one that even if you don't like the content, the structure's fucking perfect. You know what I mean? I know it's a sensitive topic, guys. That's kind of what I do here. My uncle just got his divorce finalized, and my mom called me. She was like, you need to send him a card. It's like, yeah, I don't think Hallmark makes that card. What would that card look like? Just a dude sitting in a studio apartment smiling? You open it up, it says, we didn't like her either. She was unpleasant. They make the easy cards Hallmark. It's never a confrontational card. It's always an easy to articulate. Happy birthday, happy anniversary. I'd like to see a difficult Hallmark card. How about this one? A picture of Darth Vader shrugging. You open it, it says, turns out I'm not your father. I saw a messed up dad headline in the paper. It said, stoned dad leaves baby in the oven. I know, that headline should have said, stoned dad puts baby in the oven. That's more shocking to me than the fact that he's forgetful, that's all, you know? Wow, if you guys like dead baby jokes, I got another great one for you right here. My friend's girlfriend just had a miscarriage in the shower, and I thought, wow, worst baby shower ever. Yeah, I'm not proud of that one either, to be honest. A lot of my jokes, it's kind of like porn. It's fun during, but afterwards you're like, oh, Jesus. I have bad ADD. My ex used to say, Sam, you suffer from attention deficit disorder. And I'd be like, if you see me suffering, why don't you tell shorter stories? But it's true, I have the worst ADD. It's insane. Yeah. Like, you ever have someone telling you a boring story, you can feel your hand shaking and reaching toward your phone? My God, my phone would never bore me the way this asshole is boring me. I love my phone. I'm like trained in YouTube videos, so I know how much time is left. That's the thing, you know? Wish I could do that with people. They're telling you a shitty story, you tap their face, you're like, thank God, only 30 more seconds. Okay. I can survive, but I'm giving it a thumbs down. I like the phone, I just can't deal with the phone, like, app things, like the emojis. I dated a younger girl, it's always an emoji. I don't even know what the fuck it means. Right? I want an actual interaction. Hey, how are you? Monkey. Good talk, thanks. But boy, do I love my phone. I love it. I dropped it in the toilet recently. I had to rush it to the Apple store like it was the ER or something. And they were like, there's nothing we can do. I nearly broke down and cried in the Apple store. And everyone was like, we understand. I would almost rather lose a loved one than my phone. Not like my mom or dad, but aunt, uncle, not even a question, right? I love my grandpa. I didn't check him every 30 seconds. You know? I feel some of you pulling back on this one, but I'm going to power through because I believe in myself, okay, guys? For those of you that don't understand, he was 89. The phone was brand new. So. How cool would it be if when your grandpa died, if they gave you an upgrade? That'd be pretty neat, right? A better old dude. They just hand him to you like, he's just like your grandpa, but he doesn't say the N-word. I'd be like, that is an upgrade. Does he still say Oriental? They're like, yeah, we couldn't fix everything. It's the Grandpa 5, not the Grandpa 5S. You ever tell someone a racist joke, then midway through you realize they are that race and you have to backtrack before it gets ugly? Like, dude, what do you call a Mexican driving a Pontiac? A very successful man, because there's one heck of a quality car he's driving. So. I had a racial situation in the subway. I'm a big Knicks fan. And, yeah, well, you know, it's kind of depressing. That could be my suicide note. Just says, Knicks fan. They'd be like, we understand. But I asked this guy on the train, I'm like, dude, what are the Knicks gonna do? And he was like, why are you asking me? Because I'm black? I was like, you're wearing a Knicks jersey, that's why I asked you. He was like, yeah, because it matches my sneakers. And I was like, oh, that's because you're black. I see crazy people on the subway. I can't even tell they're crazy till it's too late. It's very frustrating. This guy on the train just yelled out, hold the door. So I held the door open for him. He gets on the train, he just starts cursing everyone out one by one. And they're all looking at me like it's my fault because I let them on. I think the lesson is just don't ever be a good person, ever. Because then a few days later, this old lady was like, please hold the door. I was like, I'm not falling for that shit. I've been burned before. She was like, my asthma. I'm like, nah-uh. See crazies on the subway all the time. Sometimes I see a crazy person on the subway, so I go to the next subway car to get away from them, then I see an even crazier person on the next subway car, and I'm like, I think I left a religious freak for a public masturbator. I think I traded down. That was the masturbation equivalent of Kobe Bryant for Vlade Divac right there. Touching himself underneath his pants, this guy looking at my girlfriend at the time, not a good position to be in. Because she turned to me, she was like, you're just gonna let him do that? I was like, you want me to interrupt this guy? I don't think blue balling this lunatic is my solution, but she was like, maybe you should fight him. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to get hit with that hand. I could beat the shit out of him. He touches me once, I lose the fight. That's also a difficult situation as a man, because I've never seen a female public masturbator. I don't even know if they exist. But I feel like if I did see a woman dead-eyeing me and doing her lady business, a part of me would be flattered on a fucked up level. You know what I mean? I'd be like, clearly you need psychiatric evaluation, but I did put myself together today and someone noticed, so good on you. I'd move to the next subway car, but with a pep in my step. But she kept turning to me, she was like, you're just gonna let him do that? Finally she pushed me up, I had to get in his face. I'm like, hey, excuse me, sir. Not sure why I'm calling him sir, if you've been following the story for the last 2 minutes. Just came out. You need to stop touching yourself like that to my girlfriend. He's like, I'm not touching myself like that to your girlfriend. I was doing it to you. Hang on a second. I was like, you're just going to let him do that? Guys, that's just a fun masturbation joke. It really is. Some masturbation jokes are just for the fellas. Some are for the women. That one's for the whole family, I think. I was going on a date the other night. My friend called me. He's like, you're going on a date? I was like, yeah. He said, you got to masturbate before that date. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, because that way if you get laid, you last longer. Here's what they don't tell you, though. If you masturbate before a date, you're going to want to cancel that date. I call the girl. I'm like, there's been a change of plans. You can go to the movie. I'm going to take a nap. It's harder to get aroused now. It is. Back in the day, all I needed was a picture of Jennifer Love Hewitt's smile. I was set. Now I'm fucking an actual woman. She's choking me. I'm like, tell me I'm adopted. She's like, what? I'm like, I don't know. That's what it takes now. I'm not happy about it. It's harder. I had to quit porn. Every porn online, you don't want to be that guy at a certain point. Every porn online is that link underneath that says share or post to Facebook. Who the fuck's even doing that? Got your pants around your ankles like you know needs to see this? Gary. I fire off an email like, dude, I've been thinking about you. Funny, not funny. It's a thin line. It is. I'll give you an example. I'm on the elevator the other day. I farted. I laughed. That's funny, right? But then the door opened. A hot girl came on. Not funny anymore. Then it was my stop. I got off. Door shut. She's stuck with a fart. Funny again. She goes to the next floor, someone else gets on. Hilarious. But that's a good thing about comedy. You can bomb a joke and just keep going. It's not like real life. You ever bomb a joke socially so bad, you're like, I might need to switch careers. It's very uncomfortable. I was in a health class in 7th grade. The teacher's talking about testicular exams. This is my terrible attempt at a joke. I just raised my hand. I was like, my doctor gave me a testicular exam. He just kept his hand down there and played with it for a while. No one laughed. Because it's not a fucking joke. It's a declaration of something terrible. It is not in any way funny. And she was like, did that really happen? And I could have been like, no, I could have backed down, but instead I'm like, I'm going to commit to this. I was like, yes. I'm like, yeah, he molested me. It was crazy. Instead of accepting the joke wasn't funny, I decided to incriminate a pediatrician. So. But he did not go to jail in vain. I got to record an album at the Village Underground. Slept with a girl recently. She dropped the N-word while we had sex. That's kind of uncomfortable, right? I know, the whole time we're doing it, she was like, no! You know why it's a good joke? Because there's all that tension, right? Where you're like, I think he's going to say the N-word. Then it's like, thank God it's a rape joke. All right. The N-word's weird. White people created it, but only black people get to use it, right? Sort of like the Magnum condom. I did a show, this guy came up to me, he's like, you were all right. My girlfriend did not care for your act because you told a rape joke, and she played a rape victim in her acting class at NYU, so, you know. No, I don't know. It's like me going up to a homeless guy, I'm like, dude, I know what it's like. I've gone camping, so. We're the same person. I saw a homeless guy sleeping, and then sleeping next to him was a homeless woman. I thought, that's fucking sad, you know? This guy has a girlfriend and I don't. That's just very upsetting to me. Hope he doesn't hit her, because that's not domestic violence if you don't have a home, you know? That's a street fight. That's terrible. I love watching couples fight in public. I do. There's nothing. I pull up a chair and I pick a side. It's beautiful. I saw a couple yelling at each other on the subway platform. As they're yelling, a rat runs up to the woman's foot, bounces off, and runs away. And she screams, but her boyfriend just laughs in her face. She was like, that is not funny. And he was like, it's kind of funny. And she was like, no. So I just went up to them. I was like, excuse me, miss. I saw the whole thing and it was funny. I do this every night. I have a really good gauge on what's funny and what's not funny. So I don't know much about relationships. This is the one thing I know. Don't go to Costco too early on with your significant other. That's like a 3-month contract renewal I was not aware of. I was like, look, I want to break up with you too, but we got to chug animal crackers we have to finish, so. I feel the mutual disdain, but I'm frugal. That's all I'm saying. You know? I don't know much. I did get in trouble with that N-word joke with the blogger. She wrote a nasty piece, and I got a bunch of threatening messages, but some were kind of enjoyable. I got one from a minister, and the subject heading just said, "You disgust me." So I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to read this one. You disgust me. She wrote it 5 times in the email, and at the bottom she writes, I'm disgusted my daughter has to grow up in this world. So I just wrote back one line. I wrote back, how old is your daughter, and can I see a picture of her? She wrote back, absolutely not. I wrote back, well, then you disgust me. I knew tonight was going to be a good night. I was listening to that Black Eyed Peas song, Tonight's Going to Be a Good Night. That song has never let me down. I heard that song once at 3:30 in the morning. I'm at a Walgreens drugstore. I'm buying stool softener. I'm like, I don't think it's going to be a great night, to be honest. But maybe a little boom boom pow would be more appropriate. But, guys, what are you drinking there? What is that? Yes, you. I know what he's drinking. It says Bud Light on the bottle. You have the interesting, mysterious cocktail. What is it? A mango martini. That's a weird thing to call into work the next day with. Mango martini. Liquor before beer, you're all in the clear. Beer before liquor. Do you know it? Never, she knew it. A girl knows it. You don't have a drinking problem if you're still doing nursery rhymes, probably, right? I don't think there's anyone out there like, wait, Quaaludes before crack. Never get my kids back? Heroin before meth, 1 tooth left is the other part of that I left out, but just, brush up. Know your drug rhymes. I like when drunks call it liquid courage. Have you ever heard that? Has anyone ever done anything brave when they're shit-faced, ever? I think the bravest thing I've done drunk is pee in public or tell a woman just get awesome boobs. It's never real bravery. Never hear this. Help, there's a child stuck in this well. Is anyone intoxicated? Yes, ma'am, I am. Can you do anything? No, I can't. Great tits, though. Awesome. I was so drunk, I was pissing on the street. This cop walked up to me. He's like, you were not seriously pissing on the street. I was like, no, I'm doing it ironically. He handcuffed me while my dick was out. That makes it look like I'm in a way worse crime than public urination. Do you guys have you been feeling the allergies? It's terrible. I went to get Claritin D at the store, and they make you go behind the counter, so you have to fill out a little form to say you're not going to make meth. Which I feel like if you're into selling meth, a waiver is not really a deterrent. Is there some meth kingpin going down? They're like, not only did he distribute methamphetamine, he lied to Monique at Walgreens. He's a monster. Which, by the way, that's a perk you don't really hear about meth, right? I never really hear that. That you probably don't get allergies. That's kind of neat, right? You walking around bitching about the pollen count. Some dude crawls out of a dumpster. He's like, I didn't even notice. I'm too busy trying to find my kids. I don't know about it. How about, are there any newly engaged people here? No? Just a fucking bunch of definites and almost. You guys? You're newly engaged, for real? How do you propose to her?
I painted it on the living room floor.
You what?
I painted it on the living room floor.
You gotta speak louder, dude. I'm doing
I painted it on the living room.
You painted it? Don't fucking give him that. He's fucking up the curve. I just want to spend the life with someone. I gotta be fucking Picasso now? Over here, you? How'd he propose to you? On the beach. That's a good move, because if you say no, he gets to push you with the tide. That's kind of cool, you know? And then he lies to his friends like, she said yes right before she fell in. It's awful. Some people, I think breaking up creatively is cooler than proposing creatively anyway. But that's what I want to do. Just hand a girl a broken iPhone. She's like, Sam, this isn't working. I'm like, exactly. That's good, right? Because breakups suck. I feel like we'd have some fun with that. I feel like even if she cried when she was done, she'd be like, that was very clever. That was... One time I was in bed with my ex, she was like, what's your fantasy? I'm gonna give you your fantasy. I was like, I want you to dress like a nurse, and then I want you to tell me that I have health insurance. It's like, then if you get away from my copay, that'd be fucking hot. Oh my God. A hairy guy too. Some women don't like that. I was at the bar, I was drinking whiskey, and this girl asked me for a sip of whiskey. She was like, ugh, that'll put hair in your chest. And just in case I was gonna have sex with her, I didn't want there to be any weird surprises later. So I was like, also my back, I hear. Also my back. My ex-girlfriend hated back hair. I didn't give a shit that she had it, but she hated it. No, she was mad I was hairy. She'd be like, I have a gay friend named Alex, and she'd get mad. She's like, Alex's boyfriend makes him shave his chest. I was like, yeah, okay, gay fights and straight fights are different, I guess. I would love to use him in my arguments. Love to be like, honey, Alex's boyfriend lets him put it in the bud. So, I don't know, maybe you should be more open-minded, that's all I'm saying. She's like, yeah, he also takes it in the butt. I'm like, forget I brought this up. Because it's been a while, I've been single a while. And I was on the road a lot, I never cheated. You shouldn't cheat, but, 2 years, never cheated. You guys want to know my secret? This is my secret. 2 years, never cheated on the road. Not one woman tried to fuck me. That's how I did it. Sure, it was hard. I'd be alone on a plane, hot women walking towards me. I'd be like, this chick better not sit next to me. Like, that's the only thing stopping her from fucking me. She'd sit next to me and wouldn't even speak the entire flight. I'd be like, that was a close call. I'm getting put to the test. I have a southern friend, he doesn't even call it cheating, he calls it wandering, which I kind of like. It's like when a man wanders. That sounds more like getting lost in a Kmart than betraying a loved one. Moses wandered in the desert for like 40 years, so his wife must have been pretty pissed off when he got back. She's like, Exodus my ass, where the fuck were you? He's like, I was trying to part the Red Sea. I know it sounds like a euphemism, but it's not. It's a vagina joke, but it's kind of biblical too, so I feel like it evens out, She was always mad. I remember one time my ex-girlfriend came home watching that movie Annie Hall, great movie, Woody Allen movie, it's on TV, and she's complaining about her office drama, and I'm kind of tuning her out because the movie's on. And she was like, Sam, are you ignoring me for Annie Hall? I was like, oh, I'm sorry, was your story nominated for 7 Academy Awards? Not even costume design. It's one of the worst stories I've ever heard in my life. I spend like all days on Facebook now. What a shitty way to live. Some Austrian guy added me on Facebook. He asked me to join his hate group. I was like, who do you hate? He was like, blacks, Jews, everyone. I am Jewish. He's not even doing background checks. I know he's recruiting. That bothered me more than his racism, his lazy recruitment process. I'm like, you know what? I'm joining the hate group, but I'm going to drop subtle hints, like while we commit hate crimes. Just walk around hating. I'm holding the torch. I'm like, dude, you know what this flame reminds me of? Hanukkah. The miracle of lights. He's like, yeah, I guess you do hate Jews. I'm like, dude, I fucking hate them. I hate them so much I'm burning up. I'm schwitzing. That's what I do. He's like, all right, we march on Saturday. I'm like, I can't do Saturdays. Shabbos. Facebook, the local news, another guilty pleasure of mine. If you don't know the local news, it's basically the news, but just unfortunate stuff that you don't need to know. with some smarmy anchor who's trying to be clever at the most inappropriate times. There'll be some pedophile on the loose. He's like, looks like this ice cream man's favorite flavor was 8-year-old boys. Usually looking for sprinkles, he's now looking at life in prison. It's safe to say he's got a rocky road ahead. All right, that's the scoop, Jim. Back to you. That's where you see those terrible ads, you know, like the Life Alert ad. Have you seen that? Where the old lady just falls down a flight of stairs and she's like, help! Help! Life Alert. All companies should do that, just worst case scenario ads. Just a guy waking up next to a chick with an Adam's apple. Lens crafters. Got like a 5 o'clock shadow. I should get my eyes checked for that. That's it. Yeah. How about that Caitlyn Jenner thing yesterday? That was crazy, right? Good for her. Yeah, why not? It's brave. You know what I learned from Caitlyn Jenner? Is that you gotta go all the way, right? You can't half-ass it. Because if I got my eyebrows done, my friends would be like, you're a fucking pussy. But if I became a woman, they'd be like, you're very brave. If I wore women's underwear, they'd be like, dude, what's the deal with that? If I got my dick surgically removed, they'd be like, you're an American hero. I will not soon forget it. I say get rid of the penis, too. Why not? I don't know if she still has it, but dump it. You got the money, you're not using it. Get rid of it. You'll be a better person without your penis. I have a penis. It doesn't let me to any good decisions ever in my life. I've never once had a boner and been like, I should volunteer more. It's all bad decisions. And it's so detached, the penis, right? It's so bad. I remember I had a breakup once. I was crying. I was so upset. And as I hugged the girl goodbye, I got a boner. That's how disconnected the penis is from the rest of your body. It's like the worst moment of my life. My dick is still like, see what you can do. One for the road. Come on. I'm trying to be a good person constantly in spite of my penis. The other night, my friend's like, let's go to a strip club. I said, no, I'm not going. Those girls are victims of sexual abuse. Plus, it's too much money. That's my stance. I'm like, I'm not going to take advantage of some girl's fucked up childhood, okay? Not at those prices. There's better options. I'm trying to be a good person, but it's difficult. I tried to join the Big Brothers program, but they did not accept me. 3-hour-long interviews. The problem is I have bad ADD, and then at a certain point you just stop thinking and caring. By the 10th time, they're like, what's a bad example of a big brother? I was like, you mean like a child molester or something? They were like, yeah, we were looking for like impatient or something like that. I was like, wow, I was way off. I thought we were playing high stakes. I guess not. They were like, what are you going to bring to the Big Brother program? I said, patience. Also, I'm not going to fuck any kids, so I feel like I got a lot going for me, to be honest. I was talking to a girl, she was like, Sam, I need a man that'll treat me like a princess. So I hired the paparazzi to chase her, and she died in a car crash. Let me tell you a messed up story. This happened a few years ago. I had a bad breakup, and I was very upset, but I was going on dates. I met a girl online, very pretty girl. We go out for drinks, and very proper. I remember at the end of the date, I grabbed her and I kissed her, and as I let her go, she said, oh my, I didn't expect that. And I was hammered, so I was like, well, you better fucking expect it. She never returned any of my phone calls ever, so, and rightfully so. What a fucking tool I am. Then 3 months out of the blue, she texts me during the day on a Friday, where are you? I said, I'm in Union Square. What's up? She writes back, I want to see you and I want to get freaky with you. So I write, oh yeah? With a question mark? I don't have a cool response for that. I don't get that text every day. She writes, do you want to get your dick sucked or not? So I excuse myself from lunch with my parents. Because I feel like this is too good to be true. It's time sensitive. I don't trust it. In my head, more likely some dude stole her phone and this is his plan to rob me. Right? He's going through her contacts. He's like, who's the dumbest fucking... Oh, this guy right here. hey, you want to get blown? I'm like, yes, I do. He's like, meet me in this warehouse in Queens. I'm like, okay, I'll be there. Awesome. So I call her. She's like, look, it's me. I've had a bad week at work. I want to see you, and I want to fuck you. Is that so bad? I said, that's not bad. That's good. So I hang up. I go back to the table with my parents. I was like, Mom, I got to get out of here. This audition just came up. I lied to my mother's face in pursuit of a blowjob. It's not a high point in my life. And my mom said, go get him, Sammy. I was like, ugh, I hate myself. Jesus Christ. Ugh. I am low. And I'm off. And I'm on my way. And everything about it rings wrong. It's a different apartment than when I dropped her off. It's, it's sketchy. But I'm like, you know what? It's New York. People sublet. This is what I call blowjob rationale. It's not based in reality. It's just hopeful. You know what I mean? We get there. I go upstairs. Nice apartment. She pours me a scotch. I down it. She pours me another scotch. I sip on it. We start making out. She starts going down to me. It's very pornographic. Then all of a sudden she stops and she says, gee, I hope my roommate doesn't catch us. It's like, yeah, me too. I also hope your roommate doesn't catch us. Let's go to your bedroom. And she said, no, I want him to catch us. And that's when I should have left. Unfortunately, I was with my penis at the time, and that guy is fucking persuasive, I was like, we should get out of here. My dick is like, let's feel this out for a second. Are you sure, penis? He's like, I got this. Okay, penis, you've never led me astray. So we go to her bedroom. She picks up right where she left off. About 35 to 45 seconds later, the door swings open. It's a dude. He's been there the whole time. I'm thinking I've been set up. He's jacked. He's wearing like a tank top. And he's got like a cast on his hand, which I'm like, I don't know if that's some sort of sex accident he had. He's just staring at me. And she's still going. And in a moment of panic, I turn to him and I go, can I help you? I said, can I help you? It seems very relaxed. I'm scared out of my mind. He just said, are we going to do this or what? Do what? Her. I said, oh, no, I think there's been a misunderstanding. He's like, you're either in or you're out right now. And he gets close to my face. I don't know if you've ever been terrified with an erection. It's a very confusing feeling. He gets close to my face. You're either in or you're out. I was like, dude, what is this, Ocean's fucking 11? I'm out. I'm not doing this. I'm terrified. I look at her for some assurance. She just kind of shrugs. So I'm so scared. I'm like in trauma mode. So I just start panicking. I don't even pull my pants up. I waddle out. I grab my backpack and I run. Which is like the least cool end to an orgy story ever. My guy friends are like, yeah, dude, I fucked 2 chicks. I'm like, I ran for my life as I reached for my JanSport, so. I leave the building. I'm walking around the park, and I'm like having a crisis. Like, Jesus, what am I doing with my life, About 30 minutes later, my mom calls to see how the audition went. It's like, well, Mom, more people went out for the part than I'd anticipated. I think they're going to go with this other guy. So, one more story. You guys have been awesome, though, by the way. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you. One more story. I was just on the road. I was in North Carolina. I was kind of drunk after the show, a little tipsy. I'm on the elevator, and I thought this couple was being nice to me. They're just messing with me. They were like, how was your night? I said, it was good. I did 2 shows. She's like, oh, you're a comedian? I said, yeah. She's like, tell us a joke then. I said, I'd rather not. This has never gone well off stage in my life ever. She's like, just tell us a joke. I said, I'd really rather not. Her husband leans in. He goes, tell her a fucking joke. I was like, what, are you going to bully me into entertaining you in the elevator? No, I'm not going to tell you a joke. Her husband gets in my face. He goes, really? And they just walk out like they one-up me, I'm going through my head. I'm like, why didn't you just tell him a joke? You could have put something together. You could have whipped something up. You know a lot of jokes. So they're right outside the elevator. I said, hold on a second. He turned around. He's like, what? I said, I'll tell you a joke. He's like, oh, yeah? You're going to tell us a joke? I was like, yeah, here's a joke. 2 hick dipshits walk into an elevator, right? And I just let the doors slowly shut in their face. Then at the last second, he pushed the button, the door opened again. He's like, and then what happened? Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for coming out. Really appreciate it.